So any difficulty on the deductive and inductive research? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
only I would like to have that. Maybe later I will ask you.
Uh-huh.
What could be the optimum data one should have to say that it is a correct and inductive? That is the my I'm
That,
thinking something
that
else.
no. Actually, there is no answer for that. There is something called as
Fine,
sampling.
fine.
There is called something called as
Also,
sampling, and what is the sampling size? Nobody
okay,
knows actually to have a product
oh,
proper induction or proper conclusion.
okay.
Yeah. So
Fine. Okay.
generally if you see this stock market, people predict on the
Yes,
previous data,
yes.
available previous data, that stocks will move in this direction or in that direction, but that generally doesn't happen. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it
It
doesn't
doesn't
happen.
happen. Correct.
Yeah. So and we never know what is the exact sampling size. Yeah. So that depends.
Even that general elections, what are that elections?
Yeah. So on this, actually, I mentioned last
In
time.
rare cases, that yeah.
Yeah, because we predict on the basis of
Sorry,
past
please.
data. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. One more thing, just in this direction, I would like to mention. I mentioned about Daniel Kahneman last time. Yeah. So he is one
Hmm,
of
hmm,
the
hmm.
what do you say, researcher, very renowned researcher in psychology, and he has mentioned that the sampling size cannot be actually properly find out, and it depends on your luck ultimately
Oh,
whether your conclusion will be true or false. So he himself, he is a renowned scientist. He himself is saying that luck also plays an important role. Yeah. So,
hmm, hmm.
anyways, we'll move ahead.
Sure, sir.
So, significance of research, I will just take you through this slide because statements are pretty straightforward. Okay, research makes progress possible. This is clearly understood. We are living in very comfortable life, common person I am talking about, compared to the say so-called previous kings or aristocrats or big personalities in the society. Yeah, so that is possible because of research only. Research inculcates scientific and inductive thinking. This is a very important statement actually. If you are trained in some kind of research, obviously your brain will try to find out scientific and inductive solutions for the problem in front of you. Yeah, scientific means we have discussed about that. What is meaning of scientific? Which follows on the basis of nature's laws, which are sort of we are trying to find out truth actually. Yeah, and this deductive and inductive approaches help us in finding out the truth. The research promotes the development of logical habits of thinking and organization. This is very important aspect of our own development as such. Yeah, it helps us in doing that. Well, the role of research in several fields of applied economics, whether related to a business or to the economy as a whole, has greatly increased in modern times. Okay, and because of this, research provides the basis for all government policies in our economic system. Okay, that is what is happening, and governments are looking to the towards the researchers in order to make formulate the policies in general, and at the same time outcome of research assists in taking business decisions, because in business lots of money is involved, investments are there, and a business is typically performed to grow your investment. Okay, so how can you grow your investment on a particular, or which is the best idea about which we can build the business? The decision is to be taken, and how can you take that decision? Obviously we need to perform a proper research for that. Yeah. So very important, research is very important aspect of human life. So I strongly recommend that you should take up research as your career. Okay, directly or indirectly. Yeah. So moving on to next slide. Research method versus research methodology. Yeah. So these are two common terms which are often confused as the same. Which are common in the sense commonly used in research circle, research method and research methodology. Okay, but then they are not the same. if you look at the word methodology, it refers to method plus ology. So ology typically means a discipline of study or a branch of knowledge. And thus, technically speaking, the methodology is study of methods. Okay, so they're different. They are not one and same thing. But some people try to make use of research method and research methodology as synonyms. Okay, but that is not correct actually. By research method, we simply mean the research techniques or tools to be used for conducting research, irrespective of whether the research belongs to physical or social sciences or any other discipline. Okay, so here we are talking about the technique, research technique or tool, which is used to perform the research. So that is what is the research method. Now, a method is what you did. It talks about what are the steps you are following. It is simply a description of what you did is a research method. Okay. On the other hand, the research methodology is a way to study the various steps that are generally adopted by a researcher in studying his research problems systematically, along with the logic, assumptions, justification, and rationally behind them. Okay, so that is the research methodology. So research methodology consists of research methods, or you can say research method is a small part of research methodology. Okay, now just in order to just take an example, let us say you are performing some research in say clinical research, some sort of medical research, and you consider say 100 rats for your research, and you measure their weights. Okay, so that's what you did. You selected 100 rats and you are measuring what is their weight. Okay, these are the two things you perform. You just do these things. And next step, what you do? You feed some of the rats and you don't feed some of the remaining rats. That is next step for next 1 week, say for example. Yeah. And after a week, again you measure the weights of all these rats. Okay, so and you collect some data, and on the basis of that data, you conclude, you actually infer some or draw some conclusions. Okay, so that is what you are doing. Okay, but then this is what is research method. You are considering some 100 rats, you are measuring weights, you are feeding them, you are not feeding them. You are doing these things. So research method is what you did. So this is a method. But what is methodology? The methodology is why that should give you a meaningful result. Now, for example, you have selected 100 rats and you are measuring their weights. On the basis of that collected data, you are going to conclude something. But that conclusion, why it should be meaningful, that answer is to be given. Okay, if you are able to answer that, it comes under research methodology. Or why you used some specified method, like you are measuring weight and you are having 100 number of rats and you are feeding some of them. So why you are using this particular method? You should justify that. And there may be some other way of doing it. Why you are not using some other way of doing it? So if you are able to answer this, it comes under research methodology. Further questions like why you fed the rats for a week instead of say month? Why not some other timeline? Okay, so there should be some specific reasoning and answer for this particular question. Why you fed the rats for a week? Okay, then if you are able to answer justifiably, then your conclusion would be accepted. Or another question may be say why 100 rats? Why not say 200 rats, or why not 50 rats? This is again similar to what we just talked about sampling. Why 100 rats? That is sampling. What is the sampling size? So you need to justify that that particular sampling size is sufficient on the basis of statistical tools for your conclusion. Okay, so all these whys and hows will come under methodology. But in order to perform that, all the steps you take, it comes under research method. Yeah, I hope it is clear. Well, so researchers' methodology aims at answering such questions as I have listed some of the questions. This is not a complete list, but it will give you a glimpse of what is consisting of methodology. Yeah, like why was this particular group of people interviewed and not the other groups? Like for example, if you are performing survey, it's not possible to reach out to all people. So we select a sample and we need to answer why only these people, or what is the size of that sample. How has been research problem defined? Okay, so if you are defining some statement hypothesis, yeah, so how that hypothesis is arrived at, you need to justify that. You need to have, say, background, say, sort of literature survey for that. Is there any basis for that? How many individuals provided the answers on which the researchers' conclusions were based? Now, for example, if you perform a sample survey and you send that particular questionnaire to, say, 1,000 people, but out of that, how many people actually respond? Is it only 20 people, or 100 people, or 500, or 900? Okay, so on the basis of that, more the number of responses, more reliable data would be. Yeah, so that is the way. Why were these particular techniques used to analyze the data? Now, on the basis of, there are many different ways to analyze the data. Why you are selecting particular way, that you need to answer. All those things will come under research methodology. In what way and why has been the research hypothesis formulated? Okay, so you need to answer this. Again, this is similar to somewhat similar to second question. How has been the research problem defined? They are quite close. What level of evidence was used to determine whether or not to reject the stated hypothesis? Okay, again, you need to have experimental data, or a sort of observed data in order to accept or reject the hypothesis. And what is the reliability of that particular evidence? You need to justify that. So research method is about what you do, how you perform research. Methodology is about answering all whys, hows, and overall, in nutshell, research methodology takes care of from start to end. Yeah, end of that particular study. Yeah, so like for example, as I mentioned about that 100 rats and all those things. Yeah, so there you need to mention, or you need to answer all these questions for performing certain activity. Why are you performing that particular activity as part of your research? Okay, so that is what comes under research methodology. So on the next slide, I have just enlisted all these differences here, which are again pretty straightforward. So I will take you through this. Excuse me. Let me drink some water. Just one minute. Well, so research method versus research methodology. Research method seeks to answer the question, what did the researcher use to complete his research? So again, what do you do for performing the research? Whereas the research methodology seeks to answer the question, how did the researcher complete his study? In case of research method, these are the techniques and tools by which you research a subject or a topic. Whereas research methodology explains and justifies the techniques and tools by which you may proceed with your research. So here you need to justify why you are using a particular tool or technique. Research method involves the task of conducting experiments, tests, surveys, and the like, utilizing the knowledge and skills learned through research methodology. Whereas research methodology involves the learning of various techniques to conduct research and acquiring knowledge to perform tests, experiments, surveys, and critical analysis. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. Research method aims at finding solutions to research problems, whereas research methodology ensures the employment of the correct procedures to solve the problem. Yeah. Research methods are end of any scientific or non-scientific research, whereas the research methodology paves the way to choose appropriate research methods, and thus it is the beginning of any research. Yeah. So any difficulty as far as the research method and research methodology is concerned? Yeah, so I hope it is clear to all. Moving on to the next slide. Finding and solving a worthwhile problem. This is another typical question in front of everybody actually. how to find out a worthwhile problem. Here we are, our attention will be concentrated on worthwhile research problem. Yeah, so this particular slide again connects with our definition of success, which we discussed in the last session, that progressive realization of the worthy goal. Yeah, so that goal should be worthy, or if you are performing some research, that should be a worthwhile problem. Why you will perform or why you will spend time on a problem which is not of importance? Yeah, so in order to define how what is a worthwhile problem, these are the attributes which are I have enlisted here. Okay, so it could be non-intuitive or counterintuitive even to someone who knows the area. Like for example, before Copernicus, everybody was thinking that Earth is center of the universe. Okay, but then after Copernicus proved that it is the sun around which all planets revolve, and that is what is solar system. He was not talking about the whole universe. Yeah, but then we know now that the whole solar system is just a part of Milky Way, small part of Milky Way, which rotates around the center of the Milky Way, and at a very incredible speeds. Yeah, it's very incredible speed. It is said that it's around 200 million kilometers per hour. No, 200 million kilometers per hour. That is the speed with which the whole solar system revolves around the center of Milky Way, and the Milky Way has its own speed and which rotates around within the group of galaxies, and whole universe is moving away from each other at incredible speed. Okay, so essentially we are moving at very high speed, and all those things are known to us now. But in that particular area, sometime back, even till 1500, we were saying that Earth is the center of this thing, universe itself. It could, our worthwhile problem could be something that research community had been expecting for some time. Okay, so this is like we expect, but it is not happening. Sort of like in today's situation, you say that some last 6 to 7 months or more than that, people research community have been striving to come up with the vaccine. Yeah, and because we knew that people are working towards developing a vaccine for COVID-19, it is expected that some in due course of time it will come, and it has come. Yeah, something that the research community had been expecting for some time. Or if you look at the computers, smartphone, before 2007 or 5, it was expected that smartphones will happen. Like you can have a computer in your hand. That is what people used to say, and it is happening today. We have like smartphones which are state of the art smartphones, sophisticated smartphones in our hand. Yeah, it could be major simplification of a central part of a theory. So this will be like, there is a theory we are not able to understand, but somebody makes it simple. Like for example, you might have struggle, many of us struggle to understand what is entropy in thermodynamics, or many of us don't understand what is the significance and importance of moment of inertia, even though we reach to final year of the engineering. That's what happens. Yeah, but then can somebody simplify it and explain it properly? Or even people don't understand what is meaning of radius of gyration. Yeah, so that these are simple things. But then if you look at the string theory or theory of everything, or Newton's theories of motion or gravitation. Okay, so can it be what do you say, simplified so that it can be propagated or transmitted to the newcomers? Yeah, it could be a new result which would start off a new subject or an area, or it provides a new method or improves upon known methods of doing something which has practical applications. So this particular statement, improves upon known methods of doing something which has practical applications. Most of your BE projects will come under this section actually, or a result which stops further work in an area. Okay, so these are the worthwhile. These are the attributes of worthwhile problem. Yeah. So for example, if you look at the say anti-aging research, in anti-aging research, what is the new thing? a new result. Now there is a new group of researchers led by Dr. David Sinclair. They said that old age is a disease. Up till now we were saying that because we have born, we are growing, eventually we'll become old. Okay, and that is accepted reality. But now there is a group of researchers who are saying that old age is a disease, and if it is proved that it is a disease, then it should be cured. Yeah, so lots of research is going in that direction. Okay, and people have found that why we age. And the answer is that our generation of cell goes on reducing. The rate at which it should regenerate, it stops happening and it is reducing. Therefore, we start aging. Okay, that is one thing. Further study says that there is something called a telomere, which is just a lower part of your genes, and the length of telomere is reduced with the increasing age. If somehow or other, if you are able to maintain the length of the telomere, what is required to be young, then we will be able to solve this problem of becoming old. Yeah, so in maybe in future, some 40, 60 years down the line, we come up with the techniques by which we will not become old actually. Yeah, so research is going, and very strong research is going in that direction. Yeah, or if you look at the space research, we are trying to go to new planets, exoplanet, like we are trying to find out exoplanets, and we are trying to reach these planets. Like currently found out the nearest planet is Proxima Centauri, and it is around 4.2 light years away from us. But with current technology, it will take around 6,000 to 7,000 years to reach there, one-way journey. So people are working on that, how to speed up and come up with state-of-the-art spacecrafts which would take us there in short period of time. Yeah, so that is also there. It is there. Yeah, so like this, there are many examples could be given in this way. What is a worthwhile problem? Or last statement says that a result which stops further work in area. So I was mentioning about the fundamental theories last time, and one of them was string theory. Yeah. So in string theory, it has been accepted by all those researchers in string theory that it is not going to give promising results. So research in that area is slowed down. It's not happening the way it used to happen. But at the same time, research in quantum mechanics have taken up. Yeah. So finding a worthwhile problem. Any difficulty? Any doubts till now? So this is my today's last slide for today's discussion. We'll spend some time on this and we'll stop then. Yeah, I think it is the last. Yeah. So problems encountered by the researchers. So when you perform research, what are the various problems encountered? I have listed few of them, but many others can be included here. First one is uncontrollable variables. So the variables are not under your control, so you cannot perform the research. That is another problem. So sometimes you just say report the facts, and it comes under descriptive research. Next is human tendencies. We have our own mood swings. Sometimes we feel that I want to perform some very challenging research. Sometimes we will feel, why should I break my head for these things? Or that is the human tendencies in terms of the society. Like Indian people will try to find a shortest solution for everything, whereas the Westerners will scrutinizingly do whatever is there, whatever there in front of them. They will try to solve that problem scrutinizingly. In general, I'm saying, not necessarily it is applicable to all. Human tendencies are very important as far as research is concerned. Yeah. Typically, there are scientists in Western world, typically in US universities, they avoid administrative activities. Why? Because if you consider administrative activities, lots of time is spent on just making decisions and day-to-day regular work, and that actually kills their time in which they can actually perform contributive research. Yeah, so they just avoid that, just to they find some way or other, and they just deflect administrative activities somebody else. Human tendencies, time and money, available time. Sometimes you are involved in so much routine work, so much so that we don't have time for research. And money is very important factor. we don't have grants, if you don't have sufficient money, you cannot perform say experiments, or you don't have machines, high-end machines to perform simulations. So money is very important aspect of performing research. Yeah, so it's very important. Lack of computerization, it is pretty understood. If you want to perform some simulation on ANSYS or Abacus, or write some code to perform to see what is happening in your area of research, you need to have computers. You cannot do manually nowadays. It's impossible. Yeah, like for example, sometime back when I was doing my PhD, I used to work on genetic algorithm to find out or optimize topology of mass spring system. Yeah, so these genetic algorithms, it's like a evolving algorithm, and it used to run for 4 or 5 days. If you start doing these type of calculations manually, it's impossible. We need to have some systems for that. Yeah, so lack of computerization may be what to say, some factor which will not allow you to perform research. Lack of scientific training in methodology of research, this is very important aspect as far as Indian context is concerned. So we discuss about that the different ways of understanding knowledge, like direct praman, direct, or what is that, pratyaksha praman, anuman praman, and shabda praman. Okay, then if you look at the Indian history, for thousands of years in between, that particular knowledge was lost or it was kept in secret. It was not accessible to all. But in Western world, maybe from 1500s or so, they have started keeping their journals and actually publishing their papers, research papers, in a particular say club, a Royal Club of Royal Club. I think that is one of the oldest club in London, which used to publish the research papers. Yeah, so we are running out of time. 10 minutes to go. I will finish up these things in this particular meeting. In the next meeting, we will have discussion about the papers which I have distributed. Yeah, so I was talking about the documentation. The Indians lost the ability to document the things, and therefore today also, if you see, we actually are not that conversant with documentation. We whatever we do it in frenzy and then just let it go. Yeah, but that is not with the Western world. They document everything properly, step by step. They keep journal, they keep diaries. Yeah, so I would like to give one example. Another thing is that these people are doing it from since 1500, so they are trained in that. Whereas if you look at the Indian context for last 400 years or so, you will see that we were struggling for independence from some monarch or some particular ruler, or initially it was Mughals, then we were fighting against Britishers. So we didn't have this particular training of scientific understanding. Even after independence, after 60s, we have IITs, and there are also few in number. Only 6 were there. ISRO is there, DRDO, NCRL, BRC. What else? Hardly few. I can count in like on finger the premier institutes which were involved into research. Yeah. So, and if you look at today's scenario, there are around more than 40,000 higher education institutes in India, and this particular scientific training is not happening to all. Okay, so that is one of the major problem actually in order to perform a research. Yeah. So another example in this context is that if you know Bode plot, this Henrik Bode, from 1900 to 1932 or 35, he actually applied for patents, and he actually received the patents for 25. Total number of patents received by him was 25 in 1900 to 1930. So in 30 years, he received 25 patents, and during that time, we were struggling for independence. So how can we expect to reach to his level when we don't have actually sufficient background for that? But at the same time, if you look at the people, Indian people who have gone to North US universities like Silicon Valley or all these North US universities, they have performed well there. It's not that we are not capable of doing it. Only problem is that we lack in scientific training. Yeah, insufficient interaction between university research departments and business establishment, that happens all the time. Lack of confidence on the part of business units to give information. So generally, people don't share the information. Even I saw in IIT, there are some professors, they don't even allow you to enter their labs because of secrecy of their research, what they are doing. That happens. Okay, even I remember strongly when I used to come to DBIT during that time, I used to discuss about my research area with everybody frankly. And one particular professor asked me a question, sir, how is it that you are explaining everything about your research? You don't use, are you not fearful about losing that data to somebody else? But I never thought about that because what I was doing was something different. Okay, it was not easily replicable. Okay, so that was the case. But then you will find that many people don't disclose what they are doing as a part of their research. Lack of code of conduct. This is very important. Code of conduct is like sort of plagiarism. If you look at all these black books, all these research papers in national conferences, there is a lots of plagiarism. Plagiarism is about just copy paste. You just find some idea on the internet. You just go through the literature survey and just replicate it as it is, without performing your own research. Okay, so code of conduct is under plagiarism. So nowadays they actually, with the help of computers, it is possible to check plagiarism, how much is copied from which particular reference. Yeah, so there is a difficulty of adequate and timely secretarial assistance. So lots of time in arranging the data, then collating the data, then writing small notes. We need some help for that. Poor library management and functioning, that is pretty straightforward, understood. Difficulty of timely availability of published data. This is also another difficulty. Most of us try to make use of free versions, but then actual papers are not available unless and until we pay for good quality journals. Ignorance is one of the major what to say, hindrance to research, because if you don't know that this is the area of research, how can you perform the research? Research for sake of research, limited research for sake of research, limited practical utility through limited practical utility, though they may use high sounding business jargons. Yeah, so sake of research, this is what happens all the time. Majority of research is like this. Okay, so that's what these are the problems. There may be few others. So I'm done with my presentation as far as the introductory concepts of the research or this aspects of research course is concerned. Any doubts or any questions related to previous session as well as today's session? Yeah, so we have 4 minutes in this meeting. In the next meeting, we will have discussion on the papers which I have distributed. You guys are required to tell me which paper is of which type of research is there. Yeah, so we'll have a discussion sort of in the next meeting. Well, any difficulty, any doubt?
So,
Yeah, please go ahead.
So you said your topic was not replicable, so you discussed it with everyone. But
Yeah.
what if we take a topic which is common, but still it is unique to our own domain? So like, should we still discuss it with others?
No. That's what I'm saying is that if it is replicable by somebody else, then it is a common problem. Then it may not be worthwhile. Okay, I'm not saying that it is always the case, but it may not be worthwhile, no?
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? So in this regard, just now what we are saying, there is something called as deep work. Yeah, and there is something called as shallow work. Shallow work is one work which anybody can do with distractions. Deep work is something which is cognitively demanding, and that too with focus. Okay, that is something which may not be, how to say, replicable, or somebody else can immediately duplicate it, sort of. So if you are involved in deep work, you need not worry about these things. So it's better to share, because when you share, you also get some insights, and your research may progress actually. And that's what happened with me when I used to share what are my findings with all my batchmates, lab mates, you can say, and they used to help me in these things. They used to what to say, put their own point of view, and I got benefit of that many times actually. Yeah. So any other question? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I will just move on to last slide. Yeah, still we are open for questions. 1 minute to go. Well, in the previous session, many of you are not given your feedback. Yeah, so the second this particular link is about the previous session feedback. So do that. All of you are required to give the feedback. And this blue one is for today's session. So do give your feedback so that we can improve. There is one particular thing is that I have not put many diagrams and all those things because available time for preparation was quite less comparatively. Yeah, so we will try to improve on that aspect. But anyways, all of you, I will be very happy to see feedback from all of you, including faculty members. Yeah, so any other doubt? I will, shall I share these links in chat box so that it becomes easier for you
Yes,
to
sir.
access?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will do that. Okay, so I have mentioned this particular April link is for today's lecture. March link is for the previous lecture or previous session, you can say.